Imagine a force so powerful, so inexplicable, that it compels you to dance and dance until you die. It sounds like something out of a horror movie, right? But this isn't fiction. This is the chilling reality of the dancing plague of 1518, one of history's most bizarre and terrifying epidemics. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment what you want to suggest to me. That will be the motivation for me to make videos every day. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the topic. The strangest diseases in human history. 1. The unsettling rhythm of the dancing plague. We often think of plagues as purely physical, microscopic invaders like the Black Death or even modern viruses. But what if the mind itself became the battleground? What if the terror wasn't just in the symptoms, but in the sheer bewildering madness of the disease? Throughout history, humanity has faced countless scourges, from the ravages of famine to the silent spread of illness. The four horsemen of the apocalypse, harbingers of war, famine, pestilence, and death, have long haunted our collective imagination. While we've made incredible strides in understanding many diseases, some still defy easy explanation, leaving behind a trail of mystery and unanswered questions. Our journey into the truly bizarre begins in July 1518 in the bustling city of Strasbourg. A seemingly ordinary woman named Frau Trophia stepped out into the street and began to dance. Not a joyful dance, not a celebratory jig, but a frantic, unstoppable movement. Hour after hour, day after day, she continued, seemingly possessed by an unseen force. Her limbs twisted, her feet shuffled, her body swayed. She simply couldn't stop.
Có thể nói rằng cái chết do đói khát và bệnh tật luôn là những cái chết đau đớn nhất. Nhưng chúng ta biết làm gì ngoài co cụm và chiến đấu chống lại chúng. Trong kinh thánh nói rằng 4 kỵ sĩ khải huyền sẽ xuất hiện vào ngày tận thế, mang theo bệnh tật, chiến tranh, nạn đói và cái chết, xóa sổ toàn bộ nhân loại. Kỵ sĩ thứ ba mang đến dịch bệnh, có thể chưa xóa sổ được chúng ta. Rõ ràng vẫn có vô số sinh mạng đã bị lấy đi. Đúng như vậy, người kỵ sĩ ấy còn mang đến những thứ dịch bệnh thực sự quái dị, khiến cho chúng ta không thể lý giải nổi. Thứ dịch bệnh, những con người.
It's utterly alien to our modern medical understanding. The city council, in a move that seems unbelievable today, initially believed the cure was more dancing. They set up stages, hired musicians, and encouraged the sufferers to dance themselves out of it, hoping they would tire and recover. Imagine the scene: a public square transformed into a macabre dance floor, filled with desperate, exhausted individuals, their bodies moving against their will while musicians played on. It's a truly unsettling image that highlights the desperation and lack of medical understanding at the time. This misguided attempt, however, only exacerbated the problem. As weeks turned into months, the grim toll mounted. People collapsed from heart attacks, strokes, and sheer exhaustion. An estimated 100 people died. Their lives literally danced away. Even 500 years later, the dancing plague remains an enigma. Was it a form of mass hysteria, fueled by the extreme poverty, famine, and disease that plagued Europe at the time? Or was it something more tangible, like ergot poisoning, caused by a psychedelic fungus that grows on rye? Ergot, a potent hallucinogen, can induce convulsions and a sensation of burning, which could potentially trigger involuntary movements. Another theory points to a psychogenic illness, a manifestation of severe psychological stress. Regardless of the exact cause, the dancing plague serves as a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability to diseases that defy logical explanation, and how collective psychological distress can manifest in terrifying physical ways. 2. The Laughing Death of Kuru. From the dancing streets of medieval Europe, we travel to the remote highlands of Papua New Guinea, where a different, equally baffling disease emerged in the early 20th century. This was kuru, a word meaning to shake or to tremble in the language of the Fore people. For nearly a century, kuru decimated the Fore, particularly women and children. Its symptoms were terrifyingly progressive: initial headaches and joint pain, followed by tremors, unsteady gait, and loss of muscle control. The victims would become increasingly uncoordinated, eventually unable to walk, talk, or even swallow. But what truly earned kuru its chilling nickname, the laughing sickness, was the later stage of the disease. Victims would erupt into fits of uncontrollable, unprovoked laughter or crying, often followed by confusion, delirium, and paralysis. Imagine witnessing your loved one slowly lose control of their body, their mind, their very expressions, culminating in a macabre display of involuntary mirth. It's a deeply disturbing thought. The disease inevitably led to death within 12 months of the first symptoms appearing. When Western doctors and anthropologists first encountered kuru in the 1950s, they were baffled. Initial theories ranged from a purely psychological illness, a form of mass hysteria rooted in the Fore people's beliefs in witchcraft and spirit possession, to a genetic disorder. Indeed, the Fore themselves attributed kuru to the curses of evil sorcerers from rival tribes. They believed these sorcerers would use personal belongings like hair or fingernails to create a magic bundle that, when shaken daily, would cause the victim to tremble and contract the disease. This illustrates the desperate human need to understand and attribute meaning to inexplicable suffering, even if it leads to supernatural explanations. The true breakthrough came through the tireless work of American virologist Daniel Carlton Gajdusek and anthropologists Shirley Lindenbaum and Michael Alpers. Their meticulous research in the field, living among the Fore, revealed a shocking truth. Kuru was not caused by a virus, bacteria, or any conventional pathogen. It was transmitted through a unique and deeply ingrained cultural practice, ritual endocannibalism. The Fore people practiced this ritual as a way to honor their deceased loved ones and return their life force to the community. After burial, the bodies would be exhumed, dismembered, cooked, and consumed by family members. The brain, the organ most affected by kuru, was primarily consumed by women and children. This crucial observation explained why kuru disproportionately affected these groups. Men, who often participated in the ritual but preferred to eat the muscle tissue of other men, had a significantly lower incidence of the disease. This practice, while born of respect and tradition, inadvertently became the vector for this horrific illness. This is a powerful example of how cultural practices, when combined with an unknown biological agent, can have devastating and unforeseen consequences. This discovery was not only a medical revelation, but also a scientific revolution. Gajdussek's experiments, in which he injected brain tissue from kuru victims into chimpanzees, proved that the disease was transmissible. The chimps developed kuru-like symptoms, and autopsies revealed their brains were riddled with microscopic holes, resembling a sponge, a hallmark of the disease. But the exact agent remained elusive. It wasn't a bacteria or a virus. This led to the groundbreaking identification of prions by Stanley Prusiner in the late 1970s. Prions are not living organisms. They are abnormally folded proteins that can induce normal proteins to misfold, creating a chain reaction that destroys brain tissue. The discovery of prions, initially driven by the mystery of kuru, transformed our understanding of neurodegenerative diseases. It provided insights into other devastating conditions like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, CJD, in humans, and scrapie in sheep, and even shed light on the bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE, epidemic, commonly known as mad cow disease in the UK during the 1980s and 90s, which was linked to infected beef. The Kuru research, for which Gajdusek and Prusner were awarded Nobel Prizes, truly opened up a new frontier in medicine. Fortunately, with the cessation of ritual endocannibalism by the 1960s, Kuru cases in the 4 population have drastically declined. However, due to its incredibly long incubation period, sometimes up to 50 years, new cases continued to appear for decades. The last reported death from Kuru was in 2009, and no new cases have emerged since 2010. This gives us immense hope, as it suggests that the 4 people may have even developed some genetic immunity to the disease. Kuru stands as a stark and tragic example of how a cultural practice, however well-intentioned, can unknowingly lead to widespread suffering, but also how scientific inquiry can unravel even the deepest medical mysteries. 3. The ancient terror of rabies. Our final stop on this journey through history's strange epidemics brings us to a disease that, unlike the dancing plague or Kuru, is still very much a global threat: rabies. For over 4,000 years, rabies has haunted humanity, with documented cases dating back to ancient Mesopotamia. It's a chilling testament to its enduring power that even with all our medical advancements, rabies remains almost universally fatal once symptoms appear. The fear of rabies is deeply ingrained in human consciousness, often associated with the terrifying image of a rabid animal, its eyes glazed, its mouth foaming, its behavior unpredictable and aggressive. Rabies is caused by a bullet-shaped virus belonging to the Lysovirus genus. It typically spreads through the saliva of an infected animal, most commonly a dog, cat, or wild animal, via a bite or scratch. Once the virus enters the body, it travels along the nervous system to the brain, where it causes inflammation and severe damage. The symptoms are truly horrifying: initial anxiety, restlessness, and difficulty swallowing, which can lead to hydrophobia, a fear of water, because the act of swallowing becomes agonizing. The most terrifying aspect of rabies is its effect on the host. Animals, often beloved pets, undergo a chilling transformation. They become agitated, disoriented, and aggressive, attacking anything in their path. The friendly wag of a tail turns into a snarling threat, the playful nuzzle into a vicious bite. This betrayal of trust, the turning of a companion into a monstrous aggressor, is what makes rabies so uniquely psychologically impactful. I personally find this transformation utterly heartbreaking. It's a reminder of how vulnerable we are to the unseen forces of nature. The good news, however, is that while rabies is virtually 100% fatal once symptoms appear, it is almost entirely preventable if treated promptly after exposure. This is known as post-exposure prophylaxis, PEP. The first and most crucial step is immediate and thorough washing of the wound with soap and water for at least 5 minutes, followed by the application of an antiseptic like povidone iodine or alcohol. This significantly reduces the viral load. Following wound care, a series of rabies vaccinations, combined with a dose of rabies immune globulin injected around the wound, is administered. This treatment, while often expensive, is incredibly effective if given within the critical window, usually within 10 days of exposure. It's a testament to modern medicine that a disease so ancient and so deadly can be entirely averted with timely intervention. Every year, over 15 million people globally receive PEP after suspected rabies exposure, saving countless lives. Despite the availability of effective vaccines, rabies remains a significant public health threat, particularly in Africa and Asia, where over 95% of human rabies deaths occur. This is largely due to factors like insufficient public awareness, limited access to health care, and challenges in controlling dog populations. As urbanization increases in developing nations, so does the interaction between humans and traditional pets, highlighting the critical need for education on responsible pet ownership and zoonotic diseases, diseases transmissible from animals to humans. The fight against rabies isn't just about vaccines. It's about human responsibility. Understanding canine behavior, vaccinating pets, spaying and neutering to control stray populations, and enforcing leash laws are all vital components of rabies control. Many dog bites, for example, are preventable and often linked to irresponsible pet ownership. It's a collective effort. My final thought on rabies is that it really underscores the interconnectedness of human and animal health. We protect ourselves by protecting our pets and vice versa. What can we learn from these bizarre and terrifying epidemics? Whether it's the spontaneous movements of the dancing plague, the ritualistic transmission of kuru, or the ancient threat of rabies, humanity has always been challenged by the unseen forces of disease. We may not always be able to control them, but we can empower ourselves with knowledge. The stories of these epidemics, as strange and unsettling as they are, offer profound lessons. The importance of scientific inquiry, the power of cultural practices, and the enduring human spirit in the face of the unknown. Our health is our most precious asset. Let's protect it fiercely, armed with understanding and preventative action. These are just a few of history's most peculiar diseases. What other strange epidemics have you heard about? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the mysteries of our world. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.